What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Back with another reaction video, this time showing love to the one, the only, Sir Charles Barkley. This man had a lot of nicknames, by the way, a lot of aliases. I'm not going to go through them all. This video was recommended to us by a subscriber, the wonderful, the fabulous Beep Boop. So appreciate you for the recommendation. Really excited to get into this one. And I'm really surprised I haven't really done any Charles Barkley videos yet, especially knowing that I've seen that we have quite a few Charles Barkley fans that are subscribed to this channel. So shout out to all the Chuck fans. We all know Charles Barkley very well. Some of us know him more for his TV personality and analyst slash critic side on The Crew over at TNT Overtime that he's been a part of for so many years. Charles Barkley was 6'6", about 250 plus pounds ish. Came out of Auburn, was drafted in 1984 in the first round with the 5th overall pick, and we all know selected by the Philadelphia 76ers. Barkley played 16 NBA seasons with the franchises 76ers, Phoenix Suns, and then fizzled out his last, 2 or 3 years, something like that, with the Houston Rockets. Just going over some of his accolades, Chuck won a NBA Most Valuable Player Award in 93, 11-time NBA All-Star, NBA All-Star Game MVP, 5-time All-NBA First Team, 5-time All-NBA Second Team, 1-time All-NBA Third Team, NBA All-Rookie First Team, and in '88 was the rebounding leader in the association. For totals, Chuck is sitting at over 23,700 points, 12,500 plus rebounds, and 4,200 plus assists for averages of just over 22 points per game, 11.7 rebounds per game, and just under 4 assists per game. Now, we all know Chuck was 6'6" and was an extremely undersized power forward. I know I'm going to ruffle a particular individual's feathers when I say this. Charles Barkley, excuse me, was primarily at power forward, but at times, not often, Chuck did slide into the small forward position. That comment was for a very specific subscriber. I can't wait to hear what you got to say about it. But in the event that Chuck had to switch, he never had to be in a panic mode and switch back because it was never a mismatch. No matter what forward position, he had to switch on the fly during any point in the game. In Charles' 16 seasons in the NBA, including his rookie year, where he only averaged 14 points per game, but that's where he started out, so I'll count it. His first 13 years, he was an absolute monster. 13 of his 16 years, he was one of the better players in the league, playing at more or less an all-star level. Think about that. 13 of his 16, he was a problem. By his 4th year, he was already hitting, that 28 points per game average, getting into those high 20s for scoring. An absolute beast, an absolutely phenomenal rebounder at his size. 6'6". In his rookie year, he was almost at 9 rebounds per game. After that, 12.8 rebounds per game. 14.6 rebounds per game, damn near 12 rebounds a game, 12.5 rebounds per game. The dude, there was only one season in Chuck's career, one season at 6'6", where Chuck did not average double-digit rebounds, and that was his rookie season. The dude was constantly in the paint with real bigs. Not none of this bullshit LeBron James narratives going around. Oh, LeBron James guards centers. Oh, shut the hell up. LeBron James never guarded a real big man. And they like to slide him in the center position when they got these small ball lineups out and you got to play like Draymond Green at what is he, like 6'6", 6'7"? at center, and now the narrative is LeBron guards centers. Please stop this nonsense. Chuck was actually in there banging with centers and power forwards like that. Big dudes in the paint. And grabbing over 10 rebounds a game on their ass. And D'ing them up. And rejecting them at the paint. Chuck was a beast on both ends of the floor. He might not get credit for being, getting a lot of steals or getting a lot of blocks per se by the numbers. But I've seen him do his fair share of rejections at the rim. But he was most nights an average defender and some nights above average defender. Chuck was he wasn't like, once he started really putting on that weight and started gaining that mass, not necessarily in a bad way, like he wasn't always super muscular tone, but that was a big boy. That was a chunky boy. He knew how to use that weight. He was a super athlete, could run up the floor super fast, could finish at the rim, all that good stuff at his size. 6'6", little chunky boy. Couldn't do nothing with him, man. Dude was an absolute monster. Could shoot the mid-range. Wasn't the best three-point shooter, but he could connect from three-point land. But was an absolute monster inside the paint. Anyway, I could go on forever talking about Charles Barkley. Let's just get into the video footage and enjoy Sir Charles going to work.
Philadelphia 76ers select Charles Barkley of Auburn University.
Look at that chunky boy. And this is when he was in better shape earlier on. Look at that pass. I didn't even mention Chuck's passing and ball handling. I didn't even mention that. Look at this man run the floor, my G. I didn't even mention his passing and ball handling. Shame on me. Beasting in the paint. Give me that rebound. Woo! Caught that joint with one hand. Jesus. Over your head, boy. I see you, Chuck. Okay. That's one of my favorite Chuck plays right there, doing coast to coast. Give me that rebound. Rewind. Pause and rewind. My dude Chuck with the left hand just snatched it. Get out of here, boy. Playing with me. I'm Sir Charles. Look at this, man. Give me that. Nice little reverse left hand there.
Here goes Charles.
He was a load to handle in the post. A load. Hey, that's using your body, man. Spin move, shoot the J. Good soft touch at the basket. Chuck don't give a fuck. Chuck can say what he want to say, do what he want to do. Clap that fool in the neck with the forearm. All right, transition into the Phoenix Suns years, where he went to his one NBA Finals. Sit down, boy. Beastin', dude, beastin'. I love when the smaller statured players, in terms of height, in there banging in the post, banging in the paint. I love it so much. He said that's how you finish over him. Good defense. Ooh, is that Robinson? Hey, he said don't let me shoot. I can shoot. Little shovel pass with two hands. He's always assaulting the mascots.
Charles Barkley, the 1992-93 National Basketball Association Most Valuable Player.
Wet. The Houston Rocket experiment didn't quite work out. A lot of those guys weren't even in their prime anymore. Dude, I think we got more highlights of him assaulting mascots. Chuck, you goddamn fool. That's what I remember. I was watching this game live. I remember that one. Chucky baby. As you notice, the Houston Rocket highlights were not so much basketball, but him taking physical punishment and being injured, which is true. He had quite a few injuries that were kind of plaguing him. Well, were definitely plaguing him with the Rockets. I think a pelvis injury, an ankle injury, maybe some other things, but I remember those for sure. And his first season with the Rockets, he only played just over 50 games. The next year, he was just shy of 70 games. And then after that, he was playing like somewhere between 20 to 45 games between his last two seasons, something like that. So unfortunately, that's how he went out. And you know, for some players, their body just starts to plague them and starts to fail them. Chuck was a beast. He was a monster, man. He's a joy to watch too, for so many reasons, even for non-basketball reasons. You know, one thing. So we noticed, you know, we watch TNT Overtime, and often you'll see Shaq poke fun at Chuck. Yeah, you ain't got no championship rings. You can't talk about this. You don't have championship rings. Which it's cool when it's like, they're having fun with each other, little light jab. And Chuck, for the most part, has always took it on the chin and took it very well. And they have a brotherly love for one another. I do understand that. But I think the Chuck, trying to say Chuck can't have an opinion, or Chuck doesn't have a right to talk about certain things, or Chuck doesn't know what he's talking about or wouldn't understand because he never won a championship, is a bunch of bullshit to me. Especially, I understand poking fun players with players, but now I'm seeing people legitimately throwing spears at Chuck for not winning a championship when there are dozens and dozens upon other greats that have never won a championship and don't even have a personal, individual resume that can match Chuck's, and don't have a championship. And the disrespect to Charles Barkley and his legacy and his career because he doesn't have a championship has got to goddamn stop. Nobody's calling him the greatest of all time, but appreciate him for what he was and what he provided to the game and what he accomplished in his career. Like maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I don't remember. He was doing an interview, a webcam interview or something, I don't know, podcast, and he was talking to some WNBA player that had just won a championship, I believe. And this WNBA player, and she was dead serious. She was dead serious. Basically said, not verbatim, was like, yeah, Chuck, you don't know what you're talking about, or you can't talk about this because you don't know what it's like to win a championship. I do. Something along those lines. Dude, I was like, is this bitch serious? Did she just say that to the great Charles Barkley, one of the greatest players to ever live? And because she got a WNBA championship, she got the gall in all seriousness to say that to Charles Barkley, who knows more basketball than she will ever know. I could not, oh boy, my blood was bubbling. I was like, you stank ass. How dare you? How dare you say that to and Chuck took it. He took the high road. Chuck took the high road. He really did. Because he didn't have to. He didn't have to succumb to that level of disrespect. Shit, man. I couldn't believe it, man. It's a bit overblown. Constantly making fun of this guy and downplaying his legacy and his career because of that. If that's the case, keep the energy like that for all the players that didn't win a championship. Y'all don't allow this man to say a goddamn word without saying, yeah, but you didn't win a championship. Shut the hell up. Stop it. Ain't nobody sitting here calling him the greatest of all time or the GOAT or anything like that. For you to even bring something like that, appreciate his career for what it was, man. You feel me? It's tough when you played, in the 80s and 90s, and you got to deal with players like, Michael Jordan, who basically prevented damn near everybody from getting a championship in the 90s. And the only people that slipped in were Hakeem and them boys when Jordan left. But other than that, ain't Jordan wasn't letting nobody win championships once he started winning them in the 90s. And then before that, you had to deal with the other greats in the 80s. Come on, man. Sometimes, man, you just the era you were in there was just something there. Something there. What the Batman song go? Nirvana. Something in the way. Something in the way. Yeah. It's just something in the way. Yeah. That's all I got to say about it, man. Y'all let me know what you think about Charles Barkley, the player. And if you want to talk about Charles Barkley, the analyst, go for it too. Just give me your opinion on Chuck. What is your opinion on him? Did you ever get the chance to see Chuck play live? Did you ever go to any of his games? If you did, for which team? Let me know about your experience. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Again, thank you for the recommendation. Beep boop. And I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.